So we're back working the wee Fergie today, and interesting we feature down here, the brake spindle's splined rather than keyed, which was sort of normal in the later ones. So that's an interesting wee find. So we're just getting ready to lift the engine and split it here, get the clutch and the flywheel out, and then see what we're going to do with the engine. So we've got it all supported. We've got the bolts out and it's starting to split. We've got this wee unit here that we can try and find the balance, but we also found that we've got a wee 250 kilo chain block, which is quite handy. Unfortunately, the beam makes it difficult to wind that handle, so putting that wee chain block in there's just got it nicely balanced, so we should be able to just pull it back out now. Well, that's the clutch out. You can maybe just see even in the camera, there's a huge amount of wear on these fingers. Never seen one quite as bad as that before. Because we're going to do a sort of what we call future proofing this wee tractor, I think we'll just get a new clutch for this. Don't mess around. So much wear there. It's not really any wonder we couldn't get a gear on it. So yep, so that's us on the way now. We'll just get the flywheel off next. So that's the flywheel off now. We just put the engine down onto the floor, and I just took the flywheel off on the floor, so it was nice and easy. Usually if we're doing these up high, we've got a strap that we fit around here, just a metal band that it's got two triangle ends on it, so we can hook a strap through it, and it just supports it nicely. We've been using that a lot in the past, but on this occasion, it's a fairly small, light flywheel. We just manually did it this time. So now we'll get the engine onto engine stand and start ripping it apart. So that's us on the engine stand. We've had this stand for a wee while. We actually modified it a wee bit so it'll fit properly into the engine lifter. We cut that front end a little bit shorter. We put these two wings on either side so we can put an oil tray, balance an oil tray underneath here, just so we catch any drips and stuff. What else did we do? Well, I had to drill some of these arms, just so we could make it more adaptable. But yeah, all told, it's a pretty good wee bit of kit, and ideal for this job. So that's the bottom strainer out. Pretty black, horrible stuff. Could be worse, I suppose. We'll just get these last two bolts off to get the sump cover off. Okay, we've got the sump cover off now, so we'll just start taking these split pins off and freeing off the bottom ends, and just carry on from there. So the crankshaft has to come out that way, so at some point we'll need to take it off the stand, support it, and get the crankshaft out this way. So while Ewan's working on the bottom ends here, I'll start stripping down this all the timing gear, and we'll get all that cleared out the way. Yeah, one of the issues with this engine here is the pistons. The conrods aren't cranked, so the pistons have got to come out through the bottom here. So you need to get if you're going to take the pistons out, you need to take the crankshaft out completely, which isn't an issue because we're going to be stripping this engine completely anyway. So once we get a wee bit deeper into it, we'll show you the arrangement of the bottom end of the conrods. So that's the oil pump, and got the chain removed. What we noticed was this wee oil pipe here. There's a small hole at the end here. We'll just need to make sure that goes back in the right position because it's for spraying oil onto the chain. So where we are, we've got the bottom ends off, and they're not looking too bad. So obviously once we get the crank out, we'll need to calibrate it, just check for roundness, and yeah, so we're moving on quite nicely. That's inside of the shell. There's a few scores in it, but judging by the state of the sump, the filters and everything, I'm not really surprised. We'll be changing all the bearings in this anyway. That's the camshaft out. There's a small bolt was in here that just locates it. Just unscrew that and the whole camshaft slides out the end. So just looking at the lobes here, they're all, everything on here looks pretty good. So yeah, so we'll just clean that up, and that'll be going back in as is. So we've freed off the seal housing here. That's it down there. We've freed off this bolt here. It goes screws straight in, and stops the crankshaft moving. We'll need to then just drop the pistons down a bit, and then hopefully we'll be able to move the crankshaft out. So we'll just get these pistons down a bit, so it's all clear of the crankshaft. Get this out, and then we'll lift the crankshaft out. So that's the crankshaft out now. We'll get it cleaned up and get all the pins measured. You can see the oil holes in here. So we were talking about pistons earlier on. Yeah, that distance there is wider than the bore, so the pistons have got to come up the way. Only problem with this type of engine is you've pretty much got to take you do have to take the crankshaft out if you're going to do pistons and liners, etc. So we'll just crack on with that and see how we go. So before we turn put the engine back in the stand and turn it again, we've taken all the cam followers out. Just got them all numbered so we can get them back in the right place. For a good look at them, they're all pretty good nick, so they'll be going straight back in once we're finished. So that's all the pistons out now. Just put them all together so we don't lose anything. When we did number 3, when we knocked it down to get the crankshaft out, this ring came out at the top, so that goes in top of the liner. Then this ring goes on top of that, and you see there's a small pin goes in there, so you just got to make sure you don't lose them when they come apart. So we'll get all these cleaned up, and we'll get the liners out next, and that'll probably be enough to call it a day. So we've had got the pistons out. Done a wee calibration on the liners. We could still see honing marks on the liners. Obviously somebody's honed it before. We've measured it up, checked the book. The book says 80.96 millimetre, and we're getting about 0.03 over, which is really sort of I don't think there's any concern. We've checked the ring gaps. The ring gap with D-ring number 3, because it came out. We've checked the ring gaps in there. They're slightly oversized, so we'll get a new set of rings, but I don't think we'll be taking liners out. There's no point in going to that sort of level if we don't really need to. Well, obviously we'll re-hone all the liners. Don't think we'll be buying new pistons because they all appear good condition, so it looks like we'll get away with a set of rings and new bearings, as long as the crankshaft all measures up okay. So there's pistons all sitting down there, so that was a good day's work. Managed to get this wee engine all stripped down, and we'll get some parts ordered up and get it all rebuilt. We'll be changing core plugs on it, just as a matter of course. Some people call them Welsh plugs or freeze plugs. Doesn't matter the name, we'll be changing them out anyway. So that's that'll be the next job. We'll get these plugs out, we'll get it all cleaned up and ready to get reassembled. So yeah, good day's work there. We'll call it a day at that.